Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to a new vlog. It seems that that little burst of October sunshine has well and truly gone. It's such a grey and rainy day today, but actually I don't mind because we've got very much an office day today. We actually have our financial advisor Toby coming over for pretty much a full day of meetings today, and I will ask him if he wouldn't mind doing a little snippets on camera, because he always shares so much important information with us that Charlie and I are like, why do we not learn this in school? I feel like it's just stuff that everyone should know, whether it's about mortgages or interest rates, things like that. So maybe we'll have a little chat together with Toby later. Gosh, I need to change my battery already. That's better, fresh battery, is because I was filming a few clips of my workout this morning. But yes, freshly showered, and I'm gonna whiz together a nice breakfast before Toby gets here, so that I've got some brain food literally before our meeting, because I do find these meetings very interesting but also very intense. I've been choosing an article that I'm going to read during my breakfast. Charlie and I recently subscribed to the Financial Times digital subscription, and I think Charlie and I have spoken a lot, specifically the Catalonia video, about how when it comes to news and magazines, we're very selective, because there's a lot of news out there that's maybe written quite quickly with perhaps not the most research behind it, and we want to ensure that everything that we consume is relevant, is accurate, is well researched. And Charlie's been reading the Financial Times as a physical paper for a long time, but now as we move more digital, we've got the digital subscription. I like to have it on my iPad. My jazzy stand means that I can literally have it on at the dining table while I'm eating my breakfast. And I used to think it was just for, you know, those guys in the suits on the Waterloo and City line opening up their newspaper. But no, there's actually so much on here that's really relevant, really interesting, and also just some quite entertaining articles as well. So this is the one that I've saved for reading with my breakfast. It's all about luxury brands, and I did have a little skim read through, and the top line is how the last 3 years, interestingly, considering COVID, there's been an uplift in sales of luxury products, whether it's expensive watches or expensive handbags, things like that. But now we're starting to see that drop down a little bit, and from an economy point of view, that's really fascinating what that means with regards to customer spending. And a lot of the brands that I work with are luxury brands. Sorry if you can hear the coffee machine making a bit of noise in the background. So for me, from not only an interest point of view, but also from a work point of view, it's really, really fascinating. The power of the luxury carrier bag. I love this. So many fascinating articles. So this is within the style section. I'm actually going to add that to my FT tab, and what that does is it basically saves the article down here. You can see some of the articles that I've been saving lately. One that I've got to read later on tonight, probably after our financial meeting, is how to host the perfect dinner party. I love things like that. That's from FT Weekend. And you can also, if you are a fan of multitasking like I am, you can listen to the articles. So there's a little button here which essentially turns the articles into a podcast, or vice versa, because they do have the FT Weekend podcast. But yeah, so whether it's something a little bit more fun and interesting like that, or whether it's let's go to the homepage, obviously a lot of very serious topics being discussed at the moment. UK economy rebounds partially in August. Apollo to buy Wagamama, wow, in a £506 million deal. Bernie Ecclestone pleads guilty to £400 million fraud. It's so varied, the articles that we get on here. In the ones that I've saved, it's everything from how to monetize your allotment, how to layer plant bulbs, how to look rich. That's another style article. And it gives me ideas for content as well. Like that could be a really nice thing to talk about in a vlog. Farming subsidies trigger row over the future of the British countryside. I mean, how relevant is that? That is literally what Charlie and I have been discussing so much lately. So we find it really, really fascinating, and for us the most important thing is how accurate and well researched the information is. There is so much information out there, and I don't want to be consuming like a load of gossip stuff, a load of negative news that's just shaming people. I feel like so much of what I see online, even from very established articles, it's, you know, just creating negative headlines for the drama. You don't get that on the Financial Times. It's a lot more elegant is the word that I'm going to use. No drama, no gossip, just accurate, relevant and well-informed articles. They have very kindly extended a 50% discount on the standard digital annual subscription. So I'm going to leave all of the information that you need to sign up to that down below if it's something that you'll be interested in. If you've got a long commute, the fact that you can download the articles and read them on your way into work is really amazing, really useful. But like now, just over my breakfast, over my morning coffee, it means that I'm kept up to date with everything going on in the world that I want to be kept up to date with. And yeah, I'm sure Charlie will tell you about his favourite parts of reading the FT a little bit later. So I think I'm going to very quickly make myself a nice little cheese omelette. Yum, bit of protein after my workout. And then Toby will get here. So yeah, it's going to be a day of finance chat. Just to quickly show you a few more of the articles that I've been really enjoying and saving down lately. This is something that's really relevant to where we were yesterday with L'Occitane. We were talking about biodiversity and the things that the Woodland Trust are doing to help that. And this article is all about UK wildlife in a long-term decline in diversity and abundance. And it's sharing a few little bits of information on how you can help, whether it's adding in wildflower meadows, helping flora and fauna depleted by human activity over previous centuries. The UK now has less than half of its biodiversity remaining. I mean, that is absolutely tragic. The UK wildlife is better studied than other countries in the world. We need to protect our species and habitats to restore nature and tackle the climate crisis. So interesting. I should probably be reading more kind of interest rate kind of stories ahead of Toby, our financial planner, getting here, but he'll give us a quick update once he gets here. UK house prices dropped 13.4%. Interesting. So these are a few of the topics you can look at: the UK, the world, companies, tech, markets, climate, opinions, big reads, market data, life and arts, how to spend it. I do love the how to spend it section. Stella and Mary McCartney hit barware. That's interesting. Ooh, she started doing her own range of crockery. That's amazing. Yeah, just so many different articles that really appeal to all of mine and Charlie's various different interests. There was actually an article about the Bamford Club on here recently, which was quite fascinating. Albania. Oh, here we go. At Home with Ralph Lauren. So many fascinating articles to read that we can save and read whenever we fancy a little bit of inspiration. This vlog is just full of all of the background noise. We've now got my tumble dryer going off in the background. Wow, it's so dark in here. We don't have any eggs. That's tragic. So I'm going to have to make a nice morning smoothie instead. This is the exact same smoothie that I made in the last vlog. It's going to be my coffee with chaga mushroom, banana, unfortunately not a very ripe one, my Ancient and Brave cacao and collagen. I might have a discount code for this. I'll leave it linked down below, but I wanted to make, I saw Em share Taylor Swift's viral chai cookies, and I wanted to make those this morning that we could enjoy during our finance meeting, because I feel like finance meetings need something to keep you happy throughout them. But time has just got away with me this morning, so I'm going to make the cookies later on as a little treat post finance meeting. So I'll obviously share that exciting process with you, but I might add in some of my collagen and cacao, so then they'll be like chocolatey chai cookies. I think that'll be delish. I'm adding in a little bit of matcha powder, hazelnuts, almonds, bit of salt, some chia seeds, and I'm just going to top this up with some water. Okay, so we are halfway through our finance meeting and I'm already feeling a lot more advised, which is of course the whole point of the meeting. We've been discussing everything from mortgages. Obviously, I'll be totally honest with you, Charlie and I have got a 5-year mortgage and rates, as we know, are going up hugely, so we're trying to figure out 5-year fixed mortgage, not a 5-year total mortgage. So we're trying to discuss the best plan of action, what we should do when that finishes, and it's just so useful chatting through this information with Toby. And now we're moving on to more kind of work things. So we've just had a nice lunch break and I'm making a nice Chaga Chai, my seasonal favourite, to enjoy while we do the next part of our meeting. So I have showed you this before, but in my cute little glass pumpkin mug, Jeeves and Jericho's spiced Bombay chai mix. This is probably about a tablespoon's worth. So yummy. I think I'm gonna add this to the frosting on the cookies that I'm gonna make later. I know putting frosting on a cookie is not traditional, but these are gonna be mega cookies. This will be my second spoonful of the Chaga mushroom from Dirty today, but I feel like an afternoon of finance meetings. Dixie, are you okay? Yes, I feel like the energy mushroom is required for an afternoon of finance chat. And then, excuse me, my bunny, adding in my oat milk, which has just been in the frother. Look at that creamy, oops, creamy yumminess. And then just to make this that little bit more seasonal, I'm going to add a sprinkle of pumpkin pie spice. So this is going to be a pumpkin Chaga Chai. What a treat. Honestly, so delicious. Better than Starbucks, cheaper than Starbucks to make it at home. Still a treat. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. The pumpkin spice. Ooh, yummy. Wow. Do you know the funny thing is I don't actually think there's any pumpkin in pumpkin spice. I think it's literally just like seasonal spiciness ingredients. No, that's how to make a pie. Who knows? All I know is that it's absolutely delicious. Okay everybody, I feel like I've spoken about Toby so much, and here he is, the myth, the man, the legend. And we've just had a really great chat about all things to do with everything from mortgages to pensions.
Yeah, it's a combination today, because I think it's quite draining, but you know, it is, because there's a lot of information. Obviously, you know, people don't like to talk about money, but it is important that I think all of us have chats with professional people within the financial space. Because actually it takes a bit of pressure off as well. We're obviously in a bit of a tricky period, certainly in the UK financially, and probably everyone's worrying about all different things. And sometimes actually it can relieve some pressure, chatting to someone like yourself, and having a professional tell you, actually, no, there's a lot of things that you can benefit from during tricky times, etc., etc.
Yeah, I think particularly at the moment with interest rates, obviously the big one. So people who have got mortgages, people who maybe want to know what to do with their savings, that's like a really big topic at the moment. And I think we were talking before about how there's a really big misconception that financial advice is only in the domain of like the super wealthy, right? And it's just not the case at all.
No.
I think to some degree everybody has an element of financial planning they're doing anyway. If you've got a workplace pension, if you've got a mortgage, if you've got even a bank account, then to some degree you're doing financial planning anyway.
Yes.
So talking about what's the best option across each of those depending on the time period is, you know, the first step to any sort of plan, basically.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting. I'm sure my dad won't mind me saying this, but even he's been, you know, recently obviously very much affected by things that have been going on in the UK economy, and he hasn't had a financial advisor ever, and it's become quite clear that he's got lots of different pensions from different jobs he's had, and that some of them probably should have been looked at as he got older, because some of the pensions he had when he was in his 30s are still there, but they're quite high risk pensions. So they're pensions that have investments that are maybe higher risk that you would have when you are younger and less responsibility. And I think that's case in point that there's someone that would have benefited from advice from someone like yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're all, to some degree, everybody's guilty of this. When you join a company and you get given a pension, or if you start your own pension, when you're 25, 30 and you start, you're probably a bit more cavalier about your investment strategy because you're thinking, I can't touch this money until I'm 55 currently, going up to 57 shortly, so 30 odd years. So you can take more, have more equity exposure, therefore slightly more volatility in a pension portfolio of funds. But the problem is if you never change that and there's no one behind the scenes changing that for you, suddenly you get to your 50s, 60s, 70s. If you're still in a volatile portfolio, does that suit your proximity retirement? Usually the answer is no.
Yeah, and it's interesting you use the analogy of a phone contract or Sky Television or whatever, or any internet subscription, where when you get to the end of your term, and the same with the mortgage you were saying, and which I didn't even realise until today, you get to the end of your term, and unless you're really proactive, ideally 2 or 3 months before the end of your term, they just put you on a variable rate, which is a terrible rate. Same with mobile phones, etc. So you've really got to we've put it in our diary, haven't we? We've got a fixed, 5-year fixed mortgage, got a year and a half left of that, and then we're going to have a real hike in our interest rate, like a lot of people, and we've got to be clever and proactive about that, and even start planning now, if we can, as to how we can plan for that increase in what we're going to be paying.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to pensions, something that I didn't even realise before chatting with Toby is how, so we don't do a regular pension because we own the business, right? So we are taking money out of our dividends from the business and putting it into pensions, which is tax efficient for us, right?
Yes, so rather than, if you're employed, if you're in a PAYE contract, typically your workplace will pay straight into your pension for you.
And they'll double that still, or not?
They usually match it, so you typically, if you pay in, 5% of your salary, they'll pay in 3%. They can match it. So
the business.
So work, so your company.
Apple.
Okay.
And one thing I'd always recommend, for example, like an Apple or whoever you work for, is always check what your work will match your contributions up to. So
is that negotiable?
It's not. It's usually non-negotiable, but often people don't check. So if you, for example, join a company, you're paying in 5% of your salary, they're paying in also the same matching 5%. If somewhere in the contract you've not looked, if you, for example, increased yours to 8%,
you get promoted or something.
Yeah, work might also increase it to 8% as well. There's usually a cap where it stops, but sometimes people miss out on essentially free money because they're not taking advantage of
the contract that they've signed.
So if people can afford to, if they've got enough disposable income after they've paid their bills, they should make their pension contribution as high as possible, so that if their work will match it up to a high percentage.
Yeah, so increase it as much as you can up to the point that work will also match it, because you make not only income tax savings and put money in your pension, but you get NI savings on that coming out of your pay as well. So that's, if you're PAYE, you get work usually paying into your pension for you, or you can make additional contributions where you pay money back into your pension and then reclaim the tax relief. People who are self-employed, they would pay money.
It's kind of the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So rather than it paying it back in, you just pay straight from your limited company in this scenario, straight into your pension. It reduces your corporation tax bill, because it's an allowable business expense, and then you don't have to pay income or dividend tax on the money going into the pension.
And I think it's important to mention in this video, we wanted to share Toby's wisdom. Everyone has a different financial situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's different stages of their lives. A lot of you might be saving up your first house, but whatever that situation is, I believe anyway, from benefiting from chatting with yourself, that it's very beneficial to have a conversation with a financial advisor. Pensions might not even be a conversation yet, or it could be an early stage conversation, but just getting that advice at that early stage, I think, can then help you shape.
And it ties in really nicely with our collaboration with Financial Times, because also just keeping an eye on the headlines, just having an awareness of what's going on interest rate wise, politically, because it's affecting your investments as well. Just having that broader awareness is really useful.
Yeah, legislation updates is another big one. So like the rules on pensions change all the time.
Like they just did recently.
Yeah, so the annual allowance has just changed, the lifetime allowance has just changed. So that's, news articles are going to be a great way of keeping up to date with that sort of stuff.
What would you say then to finish this off? Because we don't want to be advising anyone via video as per specifics, but 5 points maybe, or your key points if you're advising someone, no matter their job status, their income, their age, what would be the 5 things to look at?
I think if I was to keep a really broad checklist of financial well-being, I would go through start with the basics. So have I got a will? So more relevant if you're married or got children or got various assets, but having a will in place is really important. Anybody who's had to deal with probate knows how much of a pain that can be, and assets don't necessarily pass to the people you want them to unless you've got a good will in place.
And I think even interestingly, Sally, my granddad passed away, and with his set up, certainly wasn't huge numbers involved, but it was the complexity of it.
Yes,
so my mum spent a lot of time trying to work out where his pension was and this, that, the other, and a savings account with one bank. And so I think just getting it down, I think even if you don't own a house, right, even just if you have a couple of £1,000 saved,
bank accounts,
you
pensions,
really should have a will.
Yeah.
And I think
do the government get more if you don't have a will set up?
Not necessarily. It's just more. Yeah, it's more complicated.
Okay.
You don't know who your assets are necessarily. Like if you have a very clear instruction in your head of where you want your money and assets to go to, it might be. Some people want to leave all their money to charity, for example, and if you don't put that in the will, then who knows? So
mine is mostly going to Dexter, but.
Mine's Dickens.
It was to Dickens.
Yeah.
I'd be worried about Dickens because I think he'd flitter it away. Dexter would be quite sensible. Although Dexter would probably buy, I don't know, whatever the dog equivalent is of a yacht.
No, he wouldn't. No, Dickens would buy a yacht because that's a really bad investment.
Yeah,
Dexter
true.
would be like, right, what's doing well on the FTSE 100?
Yeah.
He would invest in
more disciplined. So will would be my starting point. Linking into wills is making sure either through work or privately you've got adequate sort of insurances in place, and by insurances I mean things like life cover, illness cover, that sort of stuff. So again, everything will be relevant to each individual, so hard to be specific per person, but just think to yourself, again, more relevant if you've got a mortgage and children, that sort of stuff, but it's relevant to everybody.
Yeah.
If I was to pass away, if my partner was to pass away, if I was ill and ain't able to work, what's the plan currently?
Yeah, what are you exposed to? So how much your mortgage bills, various things you've signed up to, can even be as simple as car repayments or whatever.
Could be anything. And is there a way that I can protect that with a fairly simple insurance policy? The answer is usually yes. Mm-hmm. I would also think about your mortgage is obviously a hot topic at the moment. We spoke about it earlier. Like you mentioned, Charlie, if you're on a fixed rate, usually at the end of that period you will fall onto a variable rate, which, like you said, just like a phone contract, you get stung on a really high rate. So think about if you're on a fixed rate, coming up to the end of it, usually sort of 3 to 6 months before, start looking out for good deals, start renegotiating, find a broker who can help you with that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Pensions we've already mentioned, but pension planning is something that people massively bury their head in the sand over. I think pensions as a whole topic are quite intimidating because we don't understand how they work often, they change all the time, but pensions are something that most people will have at some point. So if you're being forced to save into it, you might as well know as much about them as possible. Yeah. So understanding how much you're paying in, what the investments are, how much risk you're taking.
Well, I think even interestingly on pensions, I know that a lot of people, and certainly before we were fortunate enough to be able to buy our first home, are purely driven on saving for that house, and I think that's great and that is important, and getting on the ladder is fantastic. But from what you told me earlier, which I wasn't aware of, more on the PAYE if you're working for another business and you don't own your own business, it's really not very tax efficient not to be contributing into a pension when you're working, because there are a lot of tax benefits and the government are incentivising that. So as much as it's important to save, it's also in your interest to pay into a pension.
Yeah, because what you don't want to do is get to retirement age, and that age is different to everyone, but from usually 55 onwards, and realise you've got no savings and it's too late. If the earlier you start, because of the compound growth you get, not only on the initial investment but the tax relief you get, then that number incrementally gets much bigger the longer you do a pension for.
Yeah.
So pensions would be a big topic, and finally, again, linked to mortgages and interest rate changes is savings. So at the moment, big shift in people. The one upside to interest rates going up is finally, if you've got cash sat around not doing much, you can again shop around for better rates on things like cash savings. You can get fixed term savings products, bonds, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, whatever it might be.
And should people ask their current banks about that, or are there places where you can compare these kind of offers?
There's basic comparison tools, just Googling it first of all. Comparison tools for interest rates is a really easy starting point. Okay. If you've got a relationship with a bank already, then there's no harm in checking what their latest products are. But usually, again, it goes back to shopping around tends to be the best option, because it's likely that there's a better product out there based on the market changing over time. So again, if you're thinking about short-term savings, not necessarily your long-term sort of investments or pensions. Thinking about where you save that money in terms of interest rates is definitely something now with interest rates going up I would start to be thinking about more, and just say rainy Sunday looking around and sort of shopping around for the best.
And you only have to spend like half an hour, move your money into a good pot, and then you're good for a couple of years, right? You can just kind of forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing I'd try and review as often as possible. But yes, certainly for if you're in a fixed term product, it's sort of something you can set and forget often, which is when things change a lot, it's really helpful to have something you can rely on.
Yeah. And I think even this process today, and obviously we're in a fortunate position that we've got our own business and things are okay financially with the business, but in any situation, it is almost a bit of therapy, and it's quite cathartic to talk to someone that is a professional in the space and get feedback on things. And there's always a solution to everything. And I think the more we talk about this within the right setting, the better it is for you as a person, knowing that you've got a plan. Because I think we can all bury our heads in the sand. We've all had moments in our lives where we've owed on a credit card or whatever it might be, but I think just coming up with a plan with professional advice is super, super beneficial.
I feel like a load of the topics we've discussed in the last few videos has been things that we wish we'd learned in school. Yesterday we were talking about nutrition, today financial.
Well, maybe,
This channel is school,
well, and I think it's really interesting because we've talked about it before. Friends of ours, different friends talking about homeschooling, and we haven't got a point of view on that yet because we don't have children. But the curriculum, and we were talking about this, I thought certainly I bored the audience last night about obviously learning more about nutrition, and I think growing your own vegetables and things like that. Definitely put something more on politics. Of course, it's a subject that you can take, but I think also you can only really take it at sixth form. You've already got enough going on then. I don't know, maybe there are children's books, but genuinely at like age 10, 11, you should be learning about a political system, I think. Yeah. And then all the financial stuff.
Finance stuff's that's a common one that people say, I wish I'd learned this in school. Like buying a first house is a really...
Credit rating.
Credit ratings, understanding what a pension is, what interest rates are, what inflation is, all this sort of stuff that becomes really important when you finally want to start buying and saving for yourself.
I mean, because I didn't used to get pocket money as a child, I used to get money for doing things. Yeah. So cleaning cars was the big one. It's a nice little money-making scheme, actually. And I got my dad to buy all the equipment. so
it's all profit.
Yeah, it's 100% profit. And Josie obviously used to make jewellery and things like this, but I think interestingly, so I used to then give my mum and dad money for the phone contract that I had. I didn't get a phone until I was 14. Yeah. But that meant from age 14, until I was 18 and left home and then took the contract on myself, even though I was paying for it, I wasn't building a credit rating because it wasn't in my name. Yeah. So I missed out on sort of 3 or 4 valuable years of starting that credit rating process. Yeah. And credit cards, I think, are always viewed as this bad thing, which, don't get me wrong, I think they can be. But if you operate them correctly, they can actually be a very useful tool to build a credit rating and benefit in other ways.
Debt in general is obviously something that is very, very important to treat with respect and get on the right side of it. But if you're borrowing money, this is changing now with rates going up, but for the last sort of decade or so we've seen really low interest rates, and people who will be on 5-year fixed rates will still be on those sort of low interest rate mortgages. Debt, when it's at that price, isn't a bad thing to be using for things like buying a house. Remortgaging sounds like a sort of dirty word, but actually it's just staying on the best deals and making the most of those rates. So using debt in the right way, super important.
Yeah, interesting. But just another thing that we're going to be petitioning for in our older age about the curriculum. But I think, for me personally, and I think you agree with this, the more that we're able to learn in certain areas, whether that be growing your own, importance of organic, nutrition, and now in the finance world, we want to try and share more and more on the channel. Because I almost feel like I feel let down by the system. And I feel other people have been let down. And the more of us that are informed on these things, and we're certainly not an expert, we learn something new every time you come. We have Toby visit maybe only once a year, but every year we've learnt a bit more. But it's super powerful, and I think hopefully people can learn a bit more and benefit from that knowledge.
Definitely. Well, there you go. I'm going to leave Toby's info down below if anyone wants to chat a little bit further. You're based in London, but you can...
Based in London, obviously with the advent of Zoom and things like that. We
Yeah.
obviously now work with people all over the UK, but
But then you don't get a great lunch like you had today.
well, that's true. That is true.
Quince and
If
Clover.
you go visit, then you can. It tends
You
to be
must
better
buy Quince and
spread.
Clover. Yeah, and sausage rolls.
It's
Exactly,
one of
yeah.
your requirements. But very grateful. Thank you, Toby, for sharing
Thanks for having me.
all this wonderful knowledge.
Please.
And it's Lola's turn now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Wowza, it is just so dark in here. It is so dark. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little chat with Toby. He is always so generous with his knowledge, and Charlie and I always feel so much better after we talk to him, just knowing that our affairs are in order and that we're doing the right thing, and just having an awareness of what's going on is so useful. So now, to relieve my brain further, I am gonna bake these cookies. Yay! I'm maybe gonna do, I think I'm just gonna make them chocolate and cacao and collagen flavour, because I don't have the powdered chai, but then I think I'll do a chai glaze on them. Inside these boxes here, this is very fun and exciting, because every year after like a season finishes, whether it's Halloween or Christmas or spring, I pack away the seasonal products from that year. Now, I'm actually very annoyed with Charlie, because I had a really cute green flowery anthropology pumpkin mug. He took it to the charity shop. I'm very cross, very cross. Don't know how that happened. However, luckily I have many other pumpkin related items. There is a lovely pot from Dalesford that I don't know where that's gone. I think I put it in a cupboard somewhere in the house. So we're going to go for a little treasure hunt later. But other seasonal bits that I have, some cake nozzles, maybe not quite so seasonal. A snowflake cookie cutter, a bit early for that, but I'm sure I had some leaf-shaped ones too. These are regular cookie cutters, which is very handy. And then, oh yes, perfect. Okay, so this, I think I got these pumpkins from Next, if I remember correctly. In fact, really randomly, I think, yeah, they are from Next. Really randomly, I think I got them from the Next store in Milton Keynes, which is very random indeed. They're like little ramekins, so cute just to like have out on your kitchen worktop. Charlie will never approve, so they're gonna have to go in the dining room for this time of year. These are really like good quality velvety pumpkins. They actually look as though they've got a wooden stalk, and I'm pretty sure I bought these from Mrs. Alice, but then I bought these, which are very similar, much lighter, not quite as fabulous, from Amazon. And then I did buy a few more this year, so I can really create just the loveliest autumnal tablescape with these various pumpkins in different sizes. They are rather lovely. There's this orange one too. I remember this order from Mrs. Alice took forever to come, and their customer service was really bad, so I'm not sure that I would recommend it. But they do have some cute bits on there, but I was like, it's gonna be Christmas by the time my pumpkins arrive. And then this is another little ramekin in the kind of brown orange colour. Very cute indeed. You could serve like a, oh, I could serve my cinnamon ice cream. Ooh, dogs are having a mad moment in that. And then imagine if you make just the most gorgeous soup or stew. I really want to make a stew. Such a nice autumnal thing to make, and serve it in this little pumpkin. How gorgeous. So that's those bits. I might just put them all together in the dining room. And then in this big box, yes, we've got a giant velvet pumpkin again. You want to go into your bedroom? What do you want to get from there? Go on then. Did you just want the door to be opened? You didn't actually want to go in? You're funny. I'm closing it. I'm closing it. Yes, I'm gonna leave these out somewhere because they are rather adorable. I'll leave them there. What else do we have in here? Yay! This is the Dalesford ceramic pumpkin that I was really worried that Charlie had sent to the charity shop. So I'm so pleased that we have found this. It's more of a decorative piece than something I'd actually use for cooking purposes. Being white ceramic, it would, I mean, imagine if you put like a turmeric curry in here, it would stain it. If you've ever been to Dalesford for a coffee, it's the same kind of texture as their coffee cup, so it really picks up staining. Still not wearing my wedding ring, by the way. I'm just giving my finger a few more days to recover. It's just really weird how it's almost like giving my skin a reaction. I don't know. Not the ring, the body lotion that I wedged under it stupidly. Anyway, boring. And then this is, this is like a Russian doll of pumpkins. So we've got two, that was unintentional, but same colour as my top as well. Anyway, two velvet pumpkins, which are rather cute. Love those. Okay, and then they are in the giant casserole dish. I'm pretty sure this is actually oven proof. Dishwasher safe, not microwavable, hand wash on lid only. Dishwasher safe, oven safe up to 180 degrees. Add it to your oven slowly. Okay. Slowly add it into your oven. Gorgeous if you've made a lovely dal or a stew, or like, yeah, a stew. I think a stew, a soup even, a lovely big soup. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's my kind of Halloweeny home touches. I know obviously you can have pumpkins after Halloween, but I'm not gonna lie, once it's November, I'm ready to start thinking about Christmas. And pumpkins just seem a little bit like overdone after Halloween, don't they? They sure do. Anyway, so that's my little home haul from last year. Now, without further ado, let's make these delicious, I hope they're going to be delicious, cookies. Okay, my darlings, I have got here, dun dun dun, all of my ingredients for the Taylor Swift chai cookies. Now, in her recipe, she actually cuts open a chai tea bag and pours that into the mix. No, you don't even want to go in when I open it for you. Just come and cuddle me. Stop being a pest. Needy child. So I don't have chai tea bags or a chai mixture, so I'm actually just going to do it the traditional way out of actual spices. So chai, please, if you are a regular chai drinker or creator, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe chai is a mixture of ground cardamom, ground cinnamon, ground ginger, mixed spice, cloves, and nutmeg. So that is what I'm going to be adding in smallish, maybe like a teaspoon of each, into the cookie mix. And then we're just doing regular cookie. I'm going to use a Thermomix to help me out. You can of course do it with a stand mixer or by hand. Organic sugar, butter, baking soda, plain flour, an egg, and some vanilla extract. Now I'm sure, oh, and vegetable oil. I'm going to be using olive oil. So I'm going to start by whisking the butter up to get a nice creamy mix, and then we'll add in the rest of the dry ingredients. Gonna have to go and get my Amazon light if things keep getting so dark and dreary. I think it's because it's been such a grey day today. Anyway, enough weather chat, cookie chat. This is a really tasty mixture. I think it's actually a requirement that you try your cookie dough and So good. I did at the very last minute decide to add in some chocolate chips because I think chocolate chips just actually improve everything. So now I'm going to be rolling them out onto my baking sheet, putting down some baking parchment first, and I will scoop out my dough into little balls, just making sure we've got enough space in between them because hopefully they're going to spread and flatten like little flat cookies. This is how they are looking. I'm hoping I've left enough space. I probably could have done one more there, but I do want to leave myself a little bit of the cookie dough to just nibble on now. I don't really know what you want from me, baby. You're really looking at me. You've had so much food today. When the cookies are in the agar, I will give you a TREAT. So these go in at 180, and I think this one is closest to 180 for around 12 minutes. So very, very quick actually to do cookies. No, my sweet little bunny rabbit. And during this time I'm going to eat the remaining cookie dough from the Thermomix and do my washing up. 12 minutes later. Whoa! That should not look like that. Why am I so crap at baking? Oh my god, it's one giant cookie. Why? Why are you so flat? That was not meant to happen. Oh my god. What's happened here? What has happened, guys? I don't understand. I'm so confused. Why? Why did this happen? Do you know what I should do? I should get my cookie cutter. Should I like cut them into shapes? This is so weird. I'm so confused. I literally followed the recipe almost perfectly. I mean, they'll taste amazing, but they just look so weird. What have I done wrong? Okay, I finished having my little strop about these cookies. I mean, how ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But let's see, I guess they're gonna taste the same. A little bit squidgy. They're really nice, like, chewiness. They taste great. I just have no idea why they look so ridiculous. What do you think, Dexy? What did Mummy do wrong? What did Mummy do wrong? So, to make myself feel better, I really wanted to make Half-Baked Harvest's Sage Brown Butter Pumpkin Pasta Alfredo for dinner because it literally looks like one of the most delicious meals in the entire world. But by some crazy, awful reason, we don't have any cheese in the house, which is absolutely mind-blowing. So I can't make the pasta. I can see that Charlie's got a Riverford pasta out. 1 pot mushroom arrabbiata pasta. I just don't like mushroom, aside from in my Chaga Chai. So, don't know. Might have to go out on the run and get some cheese. We've reached a compromise. No pumpkin pasta, but also no mushroom pasta. What are we having, darling?
Normally we would have pasta once a week, wouldn't we? Normally we have it on a Monday.
I'm going to have it 3 times this week.
This week we've been a bit, I wouldn't say totally unhealthy, but it's not as healthy to have this all the time. But we're in need of comfort food, aren't we? Tonight we did non-rotonda. Also, a brand I'd love to work with if they're watching, because we love them and we've been customers for 3 years. What I like, I can't even really remember, to be fair, what the difference is between non-rotonda and pasta evangelist. But one thing that I love about non-rotonda is they tell a little story. So this dish, which is fusilli with ragu alla napoletana and pecorino romano.
Great accent.
Said in the best Italian accent ever. I wish I had an Italian accent.
Fusilli.
So it is...
Say it properly.
Fusilli.
Fusilli.
Fusilli. So it is pancetta tessa and longhorn beef chuck. I don't know why this is bubbling. With a sweet sofrito, cinnamon clove, and tomato. And then it's braised for 4 hours.
Wow.
Obviously here it just arrives and then we add a bit of pasta water in a minute. And I just like it because it tells the story of where it's from in Italy. So
Lovely.
This is a Neapolitan ragu, another staple from the capital of Campania, commonly enjoyed throughout southern Italy as a traditional Sunday lunch. The ragu...
As traditional as a Sunday lunch?
As a traditional Sunday lunch.
Oh.
The ragu originally hailed from France but was quickly adopted across Italy, and with each region adapting it and making it their own. For example, the Neapolitan version of ragu differs from its rival in Bologna, Bolognese, by using whole meat pieces as opposed to minced meat and red wine instead of white.
Tutto bene!
Yeah.
Great, can't wait. I just have to show you my sweet
In a world of his love.
filet. Are you having a really nice time? Are you having a really lovely evening? I'm just roly-polying. Sometimes if I'm not sure what's happening, I just roly-poly and I just bark. You're funny little doggies you are. I love them. Yamarillo.
I'll have that one because there's more meat in that. You want less meat, don't
I
you?
want more cheese.
No, don't worry. I always give you more cheese. So I always give you more of the cheese.
Thank you.
So my loving husband. Right.
Yep. Cheese.
Is that enough?
A little bit more. Good morning, my darlings. It's now Friday morning. Feels like Saturday, but it's Friday morning. Charlie and I started the day at Bamford. I did a very tough reformer Pilates with Alex. It was a cardio reformer Pilates, which is basically a HIIT class. You do cardio on the reformer, like jumps and runs, and then you get off and you do planks and mountain climbers and press-ups, push-ups and everything in between off the reformer. So you're on, off. Very tough class. Breakfast at the club, and then we did a little farm shop. We are now, as you can see, at Strawtop Cottage. Charlie has picked up the bits and bobs for the guests. What have they got today, darling?
Same usual. You always ask me when I'm like in the middle of something.
Yeah, because you're always doing something.
I'm always doing something. The usual.
Pixie.
The usual goodies. As I said, we always try and we obviously always ask about dietary requirements in the run up to it, just to make sure. And well, let's quickly show.
Okay,
I know people might get bored,
Let
but
me show you. Master perfectionist, getting everything perfect.
Well, actually, while we're here, let's do this. Look, I always think this is nice
The guest book.
because we've been very busy recently, which has been great.
Surprised it's not full.
Oh no, the last guest didn't write in this and he apologised, but he said we wrote because they were repeat guests.
Yeah.
Which is nice. We've had 2 lots of repeat guests now.
Very nice.
Which is good when you consider we've only really been open just over a year, probably.
Yeah.
Dear Joyce and Charlie, thank you so much for preparing the cottage with so much love and attention to detail. We truly had a wonderful stay and have enjoyed the moments together.
Aww.
We're looking forward to our next stay. Best wishes, Marie Gregor with Mum and Dad. That was nice because the Mum and Dad came from Austria and they went to church and they met Val and Barry, who live next door.
Oh, that's nice.
I think Val might play the piano in church, you know.
Okay.
She's super talented. Dear Charlie and Josie, you had the most amazing stay at your beautiful Strawtop cottage. Everything was just perfect. A feast for the senses with all the lovely decor to see, the delightful scents and the delicious treats that we enjoyed. We can't wait to book our next stay.
Oh.
Next time for much longer. Thank you for your hospitality. Ada Stewart from Ottawa in Canada.
Ottawa?
Yep, in Canada.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've had people from Sweden. We should do a map. Sweden, Denmark,
oh my gosh, we
Scotland,
should get a really old map and say to people to put a pin in where they're from.
Let's do it.
That would be awesome.
I only read one more because we've got quite a few, which is really nice. Thank you for a wonderful stay at Strawtop Cottage. Beautiful home, lovely touches, and especially the wonderful goodies on arrival. And I like that what we're about to show, all 3 comments have referenced this.
Yeah, because no one else does this kind of thing.
Well, and this is why we price it. I think it's still competitively priced, don't get me wrong. It's cheaper than a
We don't need to justify the price anymore.
Cheaper than Dalesford Cottage, but we have loved exploring beautiful Cotswolds and look forward to a return visit very soon. We love the Checkers for dinner and Dalesford for everything. Thank you, thoroughly recommend it. Kate, Singapore.
Wow.
See, I think we've underappreciated how many people have come from abroad.
Yeah.
And I think if you can justify it with work and afford it, I would say a 3 to 4 night stay here, and then I would possibly go and stay in either London and do London.
And Windsor.
And you can do Windsor in a day trip from London though, can't you? In the same way that if you did a 4-night trip from here, I would say you could do Oxford, Stratford and Warwick in addition to the Cotswolds in just 5 days. And
Blenheim, Woodstock, Stratford, Shakespeare Town. Yeah,
anyway.
aren't we like 6 minutes? We're 6 minutes from Ainhoe, which means we're like 15 minutes from Bicester Village here.
I think the challenge we've got is we spend a lot of our life going to the other part. Oh, there's a bee here.
Oh no!
Oh, massive one
he's
as
so
well.
big.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I bet you're going to be buzzing to get back out, mate.
Oh, we'll help you. Don't worry. Let me get a leaf. Bee mission. No, don't worry. I've got a leaf. Come with me. It's not too cold outside for him, is it?
No, it'll be fine.
Yes, exactly, my little
Yes,
friend.
I'm really a bit annoyed. I've had a bit of a staycation.
I'm really pissed off.
Do you know what?
Oh, baby.
He's not paid his
not.
rent.
He hasn't, actually. He's putting his arms up at me, and so he's really angry.
Come on, mate.
Look, I'm trying to help you, buddy. Come on. Don't put all your arms up in the air. That's not helping.
He's the
Come
dicky of bumblebees.
You really are. Come on.
Careful, because they do sting quite badly.
Do they?
Yeah.
No, but don't they die if they sting you?
Yeah, but they're not that clever.
Come on, you little dingbat. I'm trying to help you. Right, bigger leaf required.
No, hang on. Excuse me. On you go, mate. Yeah, well done.
There.
Ooh. And, oh, he's massive.
He's huge. He's one of the biggest I've ever seen. Mission accomplished?
Mission accomplished. Yeah, I think we were going to do a lot more. It's having the time to do these things, but we're going to do a lot more exploring and sharing that on our channels, particularly Strawtop Cottage Instagram, so give us a follow, because we're going to do a lot more around this area, because we're 20 minutes from where we live here, which is actually a shame in some senses, because we're 20 minutes from some of our more favourite places. So like Quinton Clover's 25 minutes from here instead of being like 15 from our house.
But the yurt is only 6 minutes away.
The positive is there's places like Woodstock, which we don't go regularly, which is under 15 minutes from here. Woodstock's probably, I would say Woodstock's like the Chelsea of the Cotswolds in that it's probably the most expensive place to live. It's got 6 or 7 pubs and 3 or 4 of them are amazing. You're right by Blenheim Palace. And you're also then not far from London or Oxford and stuff like that, because it's on the way to Oxford. So we need to explore Woodstock more.
We do. And
then, as you say, you've got Oxford itself. We were in Oxford, obviously. It's 45 minutes from our house. From here...
20 minutes?
25?
Yeah.
And then also the train links from here are really good. I mean, the other thing that we've not really done is there's a bus stop at literally the end of this lane. So 30 seconds walk, there's a bus stop from here. And that bus goes to Oxford. I don't know how long that takes, but...
I think most people rent a car though, don't they?
Look, I think if you're exploring anywhere in the UK, a car is important, but also particularly in the Cotswolds, because everything's quite far away, far apart.
Yeah.
But no, so we lots to explore and learn. Right, let's quickly
show us the goodies.
You.
This is our gorgeous kitchen. I know you guys have seen this a million times before, but we are proud of our lovely little cottage.
So, the non-negotiables for me, coffee. I always leave... Might actually add a couple more here. So to be honest, the ideal is that you don't end up having to buy coffee capsules.
Yeah.
If you're a really big coffee drinker, you might, but we leave that. Then we've obviously got teas, and these are all from Oxford.
Jeeves and Jericho.
Jeeves and Jericho. This is a really nice English breakfast tea. We've got the sugars. Try not to have sugar, but you have to. And then we never talk about this, but we've got 3 different types of herbal teas, and I want to try and get a label to go on the inside here because it's not very well labelled. This is these are all from Jeeves and Jericho as well.
Yep.
Lavender and chamomile.
Yep.
Fresh mint, and then rooibos. which is funny for our friends Hannah and Phil. I'm sure we've told the anecdote before, but their lovely children came and what can we get you? And you know, a lot of children are like, Ribena, all this.
Fruit shoot.
And they're like, have you got any rooibos tea? Like 8-year-olds said that. Loved it. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And then obviously got cookbooks. So that's nice, you've got all of that. Then we always provide a milk. Now, if you're dairy intolerant, we would provide an oat milk. My advice is if you're dairy intolerant, just don't have milk, because oat milk's terrible for you.
Oh,
but there's organic milk in there. Normally I only do one cider. I don't know why there's 2 in there. But we have Dunkerton cider, which is very local. We have Cotswold Distillery gin cocktail. And we have a lager and an IPA from Hawkstone, which is just down the road. So they're all very local. And I just like the idea that you, ideally, so the guests today are checking at 3 or 4 o'clock, coming from London. There's everything here, okay, apart from an actual evening meal, but that could be arranged for additional cost if they wanted. You know, a nice curry from Dalesford or something.
Ooh.
Or a stew, or, you know, like...
Yeah, I mean, if anyone ever messages us saying they're checking in late, we can always say to them,
always help with that.
Can we get you a shepherd's pie or whatever? Shove it in the oven.
Ideally, it's and then don't need to worry about. So we've got 2 slices of cake that will go in here. This is the poppy seed and marmalade cake. I'll do that in a minute.
Nice.
Always, assuming dietary requirements allow, always the smoked back bacon from Dalesford. So basically, we leave some nice drinks when you arrive, coffee and a cake, something in the evening before you ideally just go out for a pub. I would on your first night. And then everything for breakfast, probably for most of your steaks. There's bacon. Then I always buy a nice organic yoghurt. And this one is the plum and blackberry organic yoghurt from Dalesford. I always call it a punnet of eggs, but it's not really a punnet, is it? So you've got your organic eggs.
Carton.
You've got this changes seasonally, but these guys have got organic blackcurrant jam. And I think, to be honest, if they don't open it, take it home as like a little keepsake. And then a nice sourdough loaf, which, to be honest, if you're here for 3 nights, that will, if it's just 2 of you and this is just 2 guests, that will actually probably last them. And then the cake. And then
nice.
I think the few other things, I've also got some organic apples that I've left for them because they're in season. These are from Dalesford.
Is that our bowl from home?
It's a mixing bowl that lives here now because we've got 2.
Darling. Oh.
No, because what happened was...
Did you buy another one?
Unfortunately, what happened was... This is the sort of stuff that doesn't need to be on YouTube, but what happened was one of ours broke and you can only buy them in sets of 3. So I had to buy a new set of 3, which meant we had 2 spare because you don't need 2 of the same.
Yeah.
Got little dog poo bags, dog spray, dog treats, dog water bottle.
Load of ocean bottles.
Yeah, reusable bottles, and that is very much something we're trying to keen to promote. So if you're out on your walks, you use these, and these are also, you can put hot drinks in these. Yeah. So that's perfect. You've got your hot chocolate, which we're coming into hot chocolate season. And then things that a lot of holiday rentals don't include, which actually does infuriate me, if I'm honest, because it's wasteful, is dishwasher tablets, washing up liquid, surface spray, and kitchen roll. Yeah. And toilet roll. I don't want guests, and I wouldn't want to go and stay in a luxury holiday rental and have to buy any of that stuff. Not just because it's an additional cost and a hassle, but also, if you only have 3 nights, you might only use a dishwasher once. Why are you then going to have to go and buy 20 dishwasher tablets? Yeah. And the packaging and the waste, because these are those eco-friendly ones, which are no plastic. Yeah. So yes, so we are trying our best, and bin bags as well. So very important. Stay, you know, if I was staying here, I think I'd probably bring a couple of key ingredients for a dinner, maybe on your first night, but otherwise just enjoy exploring. Yep, lovely. All right, I'll leave you to crack on then, darling. Job's a good one. Well done. Seriously, well. Oh yes, it is. I believe that we only planted that a year ago. Yeah, it's looking good. The idea is we'll grow it right up to there and then along under that window. Beautiful. Yeah, I've got the wires ready. So we are... going this year as well. Alliums. We are taking you for a little sneak peek of next door. This is of course Strawtop 1 and this is Strawtop 2. Launching early 2024. Replace this. And this is actually my first time seeing the kitchen. It's very exciting. So here we are inside Strawtop 2 and the kitchen. This is my first time seeing it.
Do you want to introduce us to this kitchen, darling? Explain your thoughts.
This is actually designed by myself and Hunt Bespoke in partnership, because I set them challenges and they kind of turned everything that my ideas into practical stuff.
Yeah.
So they've done the kitchen. It's I think it's called, not dead salmon. It's called something salmon from Farron Ball. But we've got the pink Argo. The paint isn't actually Farron Ball though. It's a kitchen paint matched off a Farron Ball colour. We've got the pink Argo, which is electric. The best thing is it's actually got 2 ovens.
Oh, wow.
So it's got a roasting oven, and then it's got the simmering oven, and then obviously this for kettles and for toasting your bread.
Amazing.
So my vision and your vision was we wanted this to be an extension of our house and to allow people to experience an Argo.
Lovely.
So, awesome.
Do you want to tell everyone about the worktops?
The worktops are reclaimed, recycled desks out of an all-girls school. So there's a lot of we had to scrub out some stuff, but we know it's an all-girls school because, believe it or not, there were no willies on there. So which if it was an all-boys school,
I definitely used to draw willies.
We're going to have an antique brass rail along here with things hanging and a nice shelf. And then
I have to say, I just love the sink. We've got this beautiful carved detail at the back here.
So that's Hunt Bespoke, based really locally to here. I've done all of this.
Are these Devol?
Yeah,
and
so these are
a beautiful
Devol,
butler's sink.
which I think will be really nice.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I mean, they've done a fantastic job. These are all actually from Devol.
Nice.
As well, because these get a nice patina.
It's a really beautiful quality kitchen.
They're
It's been
fantastic.
really nicely made. And the company that made this, as Charlie just said, they're literally from the next village along. We've got a dishwasher.
I love how the guys
washing
rounded these
machine.
off.
Yeah, really nice rounded
And then
edges.
we're going to have, these are out of an antique house, antique shop and out of a house. These will be hanging
Nice.
from here.
I hope we don't have any really tall guests.
Yeah, that is true.
Because they could get smashed.
Well, do you think someone could bang their head on that?
Definitely.
We might have to rethink that then.
Yeah.
This is part of it, you know, you never really know until you know.
No. And you were saying perhaps an iron radiator down there, something a little bit
cast iron.
more detailed and pretty.
And this flooring is all reclaimed oak flooring. So we got this from Burgess Reclamation, which is where we got all the other wooden boarding from.
And this
room is a challenge.
The breakfast room.
Yeah, this room is a real challenge for tables and for laying it out. But this is going to be a fun project, I think.
Boot room?
And this is going to be the boot room / utility room, which is obviously a mess at the moment, but
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
Got some ivy growing in here.
I know, yeah.
Lovely. Well,
And
it's
then
looking fantastic.
Also, the garden, which we actually do need to get out there, it's a lovely sun trap. That corner gets so much sun. So I think that's going to be a fun project as well.
Amazing. Well, kitchen looks beautiful. Let's give you a quick tour of the upstairs. And then we'll head home. Right, darling, so what have you got up here in the master bedroom?
So, yeah, so we've been obviously discussing, we're going to have a nice jute style carpet in here. It's weird because it is the same layout. Once you go up the stairs, downstairs is very different to next door.
Yeah.
And then once you go upstairs, it's very similar.
Yeah.
However, the dimensions are a bit off because this is the chimney press. So you've kind of got more space in this corner. So we've actually, luckily, got quite a chunky, small, knoll dressing table desk.
Yeah.
You know, with lots of drawers. And then we'll have a nice mirror. So this will be like the dressing table area.
Yeah.
A double bed because we can't fit a king size in here, unfortunately. Do you know what's really good, by the way? These new plugs have the USB-C.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, which is great because iPhone have just launched the new iPhone and they're all USB-C.
No one has USB anymore.
No, so that's actually really convenient.
Some nice artwork to go throughout.
Only thing I've noticed is that needs to be swapped with that one, really.
Oh yeah, that's an easy job.
It's an easy job. So yeah, the bed will go in here. I mean, it's not a hell of a lot we can do in these rooms, and it is a small, cosy cottage. And yeah, I'm thinking because of the light situation in here, because next door we have, that's not the bulbs in yet. Next door we have, so these I think we could potentially do them like that. The problem was we didn't want to have to re-plaster in here. So I didn't want to have to move the lights. I think we need a floor lamp in here, which I've already got many floor lamps, but something behind here, because this corner needs light.
I'm not sure you'd be able to fit a floor lamp behind the dressing table.
Yeah, or maybe to the side
A lamp on the dressing table that shoots light up.
True, very good point.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's have a look upstairs.
And we've got some nice artwork, look.
We have indeed.
So this is a Cotswold Vista,
Beautiful.
and this is the lavender farm. That's what lavender.
I love that picture.
Yeah, so those will be nice. I'm not sure about the frames yet.
The bathroom is nothing to show you just yet, but makes for a fun before and after.
Yeah.
This is the current state. Lots of exciting plans in here.
It's going to be a bit more traditional than next door.
Yeah, and then upstairs. Well, this is pretty different. So up here, we have gone a little bit more kind of Soho farmhouse vibes, haven't we?
That was...
With the reclaimed wood.
I think all of these projects are a learning curve.
Yeah.
And my best advice to anyone doing any project, whether it's their home, whether it's a holiday cottage or whatever, is don't do what I've done on this project. But unfortunately, because of the wedding, because of other lots of things going on, this project has been very stop-start. And as a result, we've lost momentum.
Yeah.
And then also, I've kind of lost
vision
of what's been happening where. Believe it or not, the first thing we did, we got the key, the day we got the keys, I got our 2 trusted builders in, we ripped everything out. This, I'll show you, was a horrible sort of wardrobe behind. It was like a structured wardrobe. And so we had this left over from when we did our gym project.
Oh.
And it's all reclaimed flooring, right? So it's in this project, in Strawtop 2, the thing that I'm really passionate about is using as many reclaimed materials as possible. So repurposing things. So the oak flooring that went in all downstairs is all second hand as such. The worktops in the kitchen are all desks from girls' schools. And this is all out of a factory floor.
And left over from our gym.
You know, we'll get Chloe to insert a picture here of what it was like before. But so straight away I did that. Now, I'm happy I did it, but you and I hadn't chatted about the interiors in here. And the only debate is whether we painted this white or the green in with the walls, or keep it the same.
I think keep the same.
I think maybe you're right. And these were oil lamps and they've been changed into electric lights.
Awesome.
I just thought they were quite quirky.
It's going to look amazing with a bed in here. Were you saying fabric covered headboard or metal bed?
No, so my view is the opposite of next door. So here, a
metal
big
frame.
King size Cornish Bed Company metal framed bed.
White? Or
That's
brass?
The debate. I think brass, fully metal, as in brass finish. And I think obviously we've got the carpet. We'll then probably put a rug over the carpet. And then some lovely patterned fabric. And I was even thinking, depending on what we have, a nice patterned armchair in here. Now downstairs in the double is where we want the big shaped headboard with a really impactful, maybe William Morris pattern, Morris & Co. And the only other thing that is interesting is the challenge next door, and it's literally one of the few, we're always open to constructive criticism, we've made so many changes next door based on what people have said, and I'm always open for feedback and we want to improve and get better. In the top floor next door, the challenge is clothes storage. We've got huge wardrobes in that first floor bedroom in both cottages. Yeah. Where for a weekend stay, everyone could hang up stuff.
But we need a small chest of drawers.
Yeah, but in here, this is, like I was saying downstairs, this chimney breast is much more prudent. So, prudent? It's proud. So, what I mean is, I think we could put a rail in.
Definitely.
And actually have people, okay, the clothes will hang in a bit of an angle. But I think, so the pink bedroom...
Oh no, you just put your small t-shirts that side and your long dresses that side.
Yeah, so I think a rail goes in there.
Definitely.
I think we do want a small chest of drawers, and we want one for next door as well. And next door as well, we've got some wood left over from the worktops that's only like that deep. And
for shelves.
The one next door, this is about half the depth. I was thinking just doing some nice bookshelves with some local books.
Really good idea. So her home dressing gowns ready for our guests.
Yeah, this is all the sort of
products
this will eventually
behind the scenes
in the garage, but this is all the sort of changeover stuff.
Yeah, I love this room. It's so bright and gorgeous green on the walls. Beautiful. It's gonna be super cozy. I'm excited to see which cottage you guys choose when you come to stay at Strawtop.
I love the old. See, I know people might think these are tatty, but
no,
I just love
it's personality.
old leather armchairs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually super comfy.
They're so comfy.
Yeah, but this is going to be an amazing Charman stove as well, because it's actually a more modern one, but it's got a huge glass front, so that you really feel the flames are coming in.
We just need a framed photo of Dexter and Dickens to put there. We've just got to do that.
Yeah. It's tricky, this fireplace, because I look at it sometimes and I'm like, oh, you maybe need a mirror on it, but it would be too difficult.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, also, we need to stay here and experience it, because even sitting here, you notice different angles and things.
We will. Get the bathroom done, mate, and then we'll come and stay. It's a few hours later. That little burst of sunshine, unfortunately, didn't last too long. Charlie and I have just been at home in the living room with the dogs, getting some work done this afternoon, but now we are heading out for a little walk. although it's starting to drizzle, so the Barber jacket's on and the brolly is coming out in force. I didn't tell you yet, but we are actually going back to Dalesford this evening for the Julius Roberts Supper Club, which we're all really looking forward to. I say all, we're going with Millie, Callum and Rory, so it's going to be a little group of us, which is going to be great fun. So after the walk, do you know what, actually after the walk I need to have a really quick whiz around of do like the world's quickest wardrobe clear out, because we've got a collection tomorrow morning bright and early. So yeah, gonna head out to get some fresh air, stretch the legs of our little boys and stretch my legs after that Pilates this morning. I think I need to keep on moving. Anyway, let's go.
It's the laziest dog in the Cotswolds. He just doesn't want to walk.
Do you understand the concept of a dog walk, Lynn?
Not really.
I just don't really feel like walking today. I've applied the sausage dog brakes and Mummy and Daddy are carrying me home.
There's some very warming food coming for you. Here, obviously, to celebrate the release of my cookbook, and I'm just super thankful to have you all. It's such an honour to have a completely full house and onions, and it's a tart I make all the time. So I've got friends and family for dinner. There's nothing easier to make that is a bit showy-offy, but like secretly is not difficult to make at all. Just rolled out sheet of puff pastry, slow-cooked onions, anchovies and olives on top. It has that lovely umami.